given me the impression that the Igbos are a very democratic society.
Correct.
But from what I've heard, it's not democratic for all.
Okay.
There was a certain portion of people that were not given that,
Yes.
were not given that privilege. A lot of us have no understanding of why that should be.
So, you have to understand that as much as we are very, very democratic, and we are very democratic, Republican, I was waiting for you to come. So, as much as we are democratic, we are also very spiritual. And everything that we do, everything, including, when you have this, like we went to this Igbo tickets, all these cabins, it wasn't for aesthetic sake, right? It was that every single piece of that cabinet had a spiritual symbolism to it, and either you know it or you don't, right? And so that also is to do with all sorts of things, right? Osu is not necessarily in ancient times a bad thing. That's why you have like Osuji, Osu. You have a lot of names that have Osu in it, right? And they say it proudly. It's not that they were like, oh, they were slaves. It's a very complicated, nuanced institution, right? And for different reasons. If the sins are on a particular place, and then someone agrees or was agreed for him, that person will have to take on the sins, the scapegoat, right? Take on the sins of that obodo, that area, right? And he takes it on. His line is going to have to be dealing with that. You see what I mean? And then they automatically go also. Or if you're given to a priesthood, your line will be that, right? And so we will now say, well, what does that mean? And it's nuanced, it's so complicated, but the Victorian will come and say, what does that mean? And then explain, so that means you're a slave. It's not actually quite like that. Words like slave or king, they even outcast, they misrepresent the nuance of what's going on and the complexity of the evil, right? You have to see things on a deep spiritual level. It's not just, I'm excluding you because, But when the Europeans came and started teaching us, we started looking down and started saying, oh, you also, that means, and it becomes like this wedge. But in those days, everybody knows who they are, and the also himself knows, and doesn't even want to be part of, what a freeborn, like you can't take a title, for example, you can't own land, But it's not that it wouldn't be seen as oppressive, but more like, of course I can't take a land. Why would I want to take a land? I'm also now. I understand who I am and where I'm from, right? Just like, why would I complain that my husband took a second wife? Yes, I will look after her. I'm the first wife, he's the second wife. Or the second wife won't say, why can't I take the title of Lolo, when I'm the second wife? Because you're the second wife, and the first wife, everything is just balanced. But the British came and started making you ask questions like, that's not fair. And then fair play becomes the order of the day, and yet fair play is it's an academic construct. There's nothing real in life that is fair play, right? It's just made up as a construct. And then everyone now to get a taste of that.
And they also use their language to define what they saw. So
exactly.
Outcast is not the right
It's a caste system, isn't it? Exactly.
Because if you look at the caste system in India, it's totally different. So they convoluted all that and just called everything outcast.
Yes. That's why you should never call yourself a white person or black person half caste.
Yeah.
Because you're choosing yourself, because you are obviously on the wrong side of the caste system.
Without going into much details about the Usu thing, they were never like outcasts. What happened that people voluntarily, there are different ways people became known as Usu. And most common was for protection. That people will run to the shrine for protection and keep them safe. Now other people become scared of them, because to associate with that person means you have to avoid so many things. So in order to get yourself away from the wrath of the oracle, you avoid them. And with over time, people started seeing them differently as devils.
Particularly when they
right?
when British people.
That's why in Renan used to go about cleansing people who say they are Usu. In fact, in Umri, there is nothing like Usu. If you are married into Umri, if you were Usu, you are no longer Usu, even as at modern time.
Even slaves from Arochukwu, if they enter Umri.
Yeah.
So I think it's something over the time people have started avoiding it and looking at it as a taboo. Because they were free in the societies where they belong.
Yeah.
They were free to do anything, thrive, do everything,
Free,
except
yeah.
people were scared of.
But if you want to talk further, you can come to me, but I'm afraid by the end.